animal droppings. Hi, good morning, everyone. It is, I just want to check that everybody is hearing me okay. There we go. Just a nice little quick pre-tour check-in. So please let me know if you're hearing me all right. I've come up to the meadow, which is not far from my home. We are having spectacular summer now. It's taken a while to get here, and there is a little dew out on the ground. And I am really quite cold in my core because I've just been swimming up at Johnson Lake. And I'm being very vigilant about coming back and putting on my zinc sunscreen because the dermatologist burnt me the other day. So, but please tell me if you're here because I'm just not seeing. There we go. Good morning, Vara. Hi there. Hey, there's okay. Hi, Robert. There we are. It's funny how the numbers seem to bounce around on this a little bit, but we're all here. There we go. That looks more like it. I see. So a few people. So okay. So hello, my friend. Welcome to Treaty 7 territory here. It's lovely to have you here. I've been wanting to. Hello. There's a little bee looking at my hand. Not one that makes me nervous at all. But I've been wanting to come and do a nice morning one. Hi, Laura. Nice to see you. Lovely to have people here. So it is, I've been very, very busy, but in a really good way. So I only got home from the UK there, I guess about 10 days ago, I think. Yeah, I guess about 10 days. And I've been on tours pretty much ever since then. I was out with a really interesting family yesterday. Hi, Hannah. It was a really interesting family I was out with yesterday. It was an American Peruvian family. So, it was a fascinating mix, and I enjoyed their company enormously. And they were very multilingual. And then, of course, because they're Peruvians, I got to speak Spanish with them. Well, I just thought, yeah, there is Cascade in the background there, Robert. So I just wanted to come and just give you a few views here. I do want to take you out biking, but look at Mount Rundle this morning, everyone. So the car said 9 degrees this morning. I was up pretty early, and then I found that they were live streaming finally Tour de France. It's very hard to watch the Tour de France in Canada. So I was watching that this morning, and then I went out, and there's the fair home range out there, and I was out in the distance, and that's where I go out to Johnson Lake this time of year. So you might hear there's some beautiful birds out in the distance. This is part of our water treatment up here. Hello, you gorgeous birds. Oh, I just want to show you around here. Sorry to move the camera so quickly. There's people with backpacks there just walking up into the woods. You see them up there? So they have climbing equipment with them. So they are going to go climbing on Sleeping Buffalo Mountain or Tunnel Mountain right there on those cliffs. And there's lots of bolted routes. So I really, now that we're going to get, it looks like a week of sunny, dry weather. It'll be time to start climbing. So hello to everyone. If I miss you, so it is one of these fun things. I've got us in landscape here, right, which is nice, and it's a better view for all of you. But when you type something, it just comes up for just a second and then it goes away. So if I miss you or if I miss someone, please don't think I'm trying to. And also, it's quite small to read. So, I do have these in my pocket, but I'm gonna hop on my bike and take you for a ride in town. Now we are very, very busy out here. Oh, there's saying hi, Linda. Hi, Karen. It's very busy in Banff, so you really have to do everything in the morning. So my plan today, so I've had my morning swim, then I wanted to do a visit with all of you because I really do have a day off today. So then I'm gonna take the road bike out, and then there's a very good chance I'll come up to this field later and probably play some soccer with Finn up here, because he's got a day off too. And then I bet you we end up in one of the lakes swimming later on today. He's been going out with a friend, going out paddleboarding. Do you hear those? The birdies are all having a nice chat, and all of the wildflowers are coming out everywhere around us. These are all edible, by the way. So the flowers, goodness me. So I just want to go quiet for a second. The birdies are just telling stories. Now that's a big raven making the noise in the back, but the birds are just so full of life these days. They're enjoying this weather, and literally coming back from Johnson Lake, I saw a robin with a great big worm in its mouth. So it was truly a case that the early bird gets the worm. So that was really fun. So I hope everyone is well. Happy July to all of you. I think it's July 6th. That's right, I haven't seen our friend Diane here. I know she's around though. Hopefully she's here. But say I managed to, to some extent, get this posted thanks to Leonie to get this posted on the Voyagers group. Sorry, there's just so much bird activity at the moment. So there is, again, Mighty Mount Rundle. We're looking sort of east in that direction there. Well, it is. I mean, July is just such a lovely month, of course. And for us, for kids here, really summer is just July and August. You can look down towards Sulphur Mountain behind. There's the gap where the river is flowing through there. And that is significant because, of course, the Bow River, obviously it's flowing east, as we're on the east slope. But through this space between these two mountains, that's where you find the Banff Springs Hotel, and that's what William Van Horn called his $1 million view. And then, you always appreciate, there's that shadowy creature who seems to follow me around so many of the places when the sun comes out here. And that's, you can see what a gimbal looks like. So that's what I'm holding, which is kind of fun to see. So I love to start up here, but it'll be quiet in town till about 10 o'clock in the morning. Now, a few days ago, I was up on Stony Lookout. In fact, I can show you Stony Lookout from here. It's that mountain that's right in the middle of the frame. That is still my favorite walk to do with groups around Banff, because you have to drive up to the parking lot for Mount Norquay, and suddenly there's virtually no one. I mean, you can walk up there on the busiest days and saw 6 or 7 other people. So I went with a whole family. I walked there, and then we were going to come down and get a bite of lunch in Banff, and we couldn't even get parked at the train station, like where all the free parking is. Literally, it was just vehicles driving around. So that's how full we're getting in the afternoons. But yeah, Robert's just mentioning birthdays, and it is true. I have a birthday coming up in a few days, but it's not a very exciting one. So, but it'll just be nice to be home, because I am home right now until later August. I'm gonna go visit some friends in BC, you know, take a couple of days here and there, but really just enjoying this. It's having a great time. Tomorrow I'm out guiding all day again, but just, you know, 1 and 2 day trips, lots of little hikes and mid-level. But there's the bike lying on the ground. My bike's getting a little squeaky. It's gonna need some kind of a tune-up, but we're up to about 2,700 kilometers on it. You know, it's obviously it's as you can see, it's a big, powerful bike. It's a little bit of overkill when I'm just on the road, but I tell you what, given the state of traffic in Banff these days, I literally go down with my backpack on, and I can buy all the groceries that we need, which is really nice. And we were able to get a big bag. They were frozen, but of wild blueberries. And so I've been doing my juicing in the morning with wild blueberries and of course my greens, and that's been a really lovely way to start the day. So you love my bike. Yeah, it's fun. I'm gonna go out on my road bike though afterwards, and it's a really weird feeling when I go from this great big beast of a bike to go onto my road bike. I have to go very slowly because I have very thin tires. Now I will show you that a young person took my bike out because he was out playing basketball or something last night, and he didn't plug it in last night. So I have enough charge for probably about a half hour, but I'm going to have to get it plugged in. Oh, you see we're at 2,800 kilometers on it there. Now, all that noted, I am, my new car is already getting a new engine. So, hey, that's a bit of a hassle for just, well, cost and everything. But yeah, that was a bit of a shame. But let's go now. Sometimes down through here. So I'm up above Banff right now, right? I'm up in the Tunnel Mountain District, but I'm going to go down the big hill, and I will go carefully along. In fact, I'm going to set a higher boost. When I'm riding around on the bike just for exercise, I really can't ride it very much without, yeah, there isn't really a warranty. It's a longer story, but yeah, it's getting some of it covered. But there we are, to see what the hole looks like. But But yeah, I ride the bike. If I'm just doing it for exercise, I'll ride it in the lowest support. Say the bike weighs about 25 kilos and it's nearly 60 pounds. This Backroads is a bike tour company here. But if it cuts out down through here, once in a while it does. This is Buffalo Mountain Lodge up here. And of course, we're on the side of Buffalo Mountain. Now, I didn't put my headphones in because I find they just pick up the wind too much. Now, in the sun, it's maybe even 13 degrees Celsius. So it was 9 this morning. Oh, by the way, I have to mention that last night, rather than going out for a swim or biking or anything, I watched soccer. Canada actually beat Venezuela. Now, you know, like most Canadians, I really don't like the fact that they have the shootouts. I'd much rather them have to just play till someone scores a goal. But Canada did beat Venezuela last night, so that means that puts Canada through to the quarters, which is quite a step for our country. Now I've got a bit of a junction I'm going to have to work through here. There we go. One more car, and then I'm going to head down. So my reception seems to be holding. So here we go. Now we're going to be, as we come down this path, we're going to be looking out at Mount Bourgeot in the distance. So Bourgeot was a Frenchman who was he was the naturalist on the Palliser expedition, which was 1857 to 1860. And they really plotted out the route that became the route used for the trains when they came through in the 1880s. Now, really, the easier route would have been up in Jasper. By the way, these little pillars get knocked off by cars, and these are hard. These are hard pillars. They're not soft. You can see there's one hole. It is amazing how often they get clipped by vehicles. The speed limit down this hill is 30 kilometers an hour. In fact, it's 30 everywhere within the town limits of Banff. I am doing 28 right now. So you'll see those vehicles are going faster than they should. But I do want to just stop, particularly for my friends here who just love Cascade Mountain. Have a look at that view right there. Now, I took a picture of that a few years ago when it was about minus 45 degrees. But here's Bourgeot. Now, Bourgeot I always love, because generally Bourgeot does hang on to some snow year-round. Like this year should be a good year for it. We're so lucky to have had a cool spring. And even though in the next few days we're going to be getting up into the 30s, which is the high 80s. Hey, is that Charles? Hey, Charles, bonjour. Everyone, that's my friend Charles from my Cajun crew. Yeah, I will do. So I'm on the big bike right now because it's so much easier. You can just see, there we are. It's so much easier to be riding down the hill one-handed. But I will this afternoon get the road bike out. Not even this afternoon, as soon as I'm finished our little visit today. And where I go is I go and do the loop around. Hi, Colin. I do the loop around down by the golf course because big vehicles don't really get on that, and I can do that. It's about 12, 14 kilometers. So if I do it twice and come up and down the hill, I can get a nice sort of 40 or 50 kilometers in. I would ride over to Canmore and go for lunch, but I honestly don't want to go anywhere near the Legacy Trail. That's the bike path between the two communities. You count about an hour to get over there, but I just don't want to do it on a weekend right now because honestly half of the city comes out to do it, and good on them, and they have every right to, but when I don't have to be on a path that busy, because you have a lot of families that do it. So sorry, it's getting a little windy, but let me just keep going here for a second, and then I'm going to take us over to Banff Avenue. Holy moly, I am actually a little cold, but I'm cold because I say I was swimming in Johnson Lake this morning. Now, I can't really call that true cold plunging. It's the warmest of the lakes around here. And so it's probably about 9 or 10 degrees. But I've been out swimming with this lovely little muskrat in the mornings, and it's such a lovely way to wake up. It really is. So, coming through, as I'm coming down on Moose Street. Now, we have a road closure up here because they've been doing, I guess it's some plumbing. You know, we have 2 seasons here, as we say, winter and construction. And that's really all of Western Canada because everything has to thaw before we can do anything. Now, see, with the bike, I can just sneak around here. And I'm just going to take us out onto Banff Avenue together. So there's the Moose Hotel in front of us on the left. It is a nice hotel. But, you know, everything is pretty expensive. Oh, I'm going to have to wait my turn here. So while we stop and wait for the light to change, then we can look up ahead of us and we can see, oh yeah, your construction in Ottawa, absolutely. There's Mount Norquay up there. So those are the old ski slopes. Well, not the old, they still ski there. It's the smallest of the ski resorts around here, but named for the first premier of Manitoba and the first Indigenous or Métis premier in this country. Incidentally, the premier of Manitoba now, Webb Canoe, is full First Nations. It's pretty wonderful. This is the Aspen Hotel. I often recommend the Aspen. And they have that nice little cafe down there where they say is the best latte and the best cappuccino in town, if you're after that sort of thing. But there's a good view now of Stony Lookout just up above. So say I walked up there just the other day. Sorry, I'm just going to have to get going here, everyone. There we go. And Stony Lookout is just such a beautiful mountain to go up. And I really like it for people who are, you know, able, like active and like to walk, but not wanting to kind of push it too much. It's sort of a good balance where you get some elevation. There are wolves on the side of our local bus there. All right, so let's head up to the pedestrian zone. And I'll go up towards the top of town. Now, obviously, it's a lot faster on the bike, needless to say. But this Blue Star bus company, I've seen that around, but boy, it's hard to get coaches. Everything is just full everywhere. This is a reality, and someone's actually asked me if I could do a longer talk about the subject of over-tourism. And you know what? I am willing to do that. I'd be quite keen on having a conversation about that. I just would want to get my thoughts sort of together a little bit more. Again, I think one of our conversations last night, some friends came by and we went out and had a drink, and look at Banff Avenue this morning, everyone. Isn't it just gorgeous? But one of our conversations, in my mind, is because the hotels are becoming so incredibly expensive here. You know, if you want to stay up at Shadow Lake Louise right now, even with construction going on and road surfacing, it's like $1,000 a night for a normal room. You know, that is a real concern. I would almost like to see a lottery system for people coming into the park that's unrelated to what you pay, so that you actually limit the number of people every day, but you make it accessible to everyone. Now, I don't know how we would work all that out, but then you wouldn't be able to just set up whatever price, because there are people capable of paying whatever it costs to stay here, and good on them. There's a tamarack tree, by the way, on the left. They're the mountain larch, the one pine tree that changes color. But, you know, and good on the people who can afford it, but I'm so afraid that our natural spaces are not going to be accessible to the rest of the world. You know, I mean, I'm obviously lucky enough to live here, but even that, I mean, everyone knows how much I work. I mean, it's, you know, it's an expensive place to live. Hey, by the way, there's the old Hudson Bay building that they're renovating like mad for lease. I keep thinking, not that I do it, but I should open a travel shop, you know, with all the kind of accessories you need for travel, and do travel consulting in there. But anyway, it's an idea that's come to mind from time to time. There is the old Swiss-looking building, the clock tower, and the Banff Brewing Company. Ooh, I could see sitting on the deck this afternoon when the sun's hitting it. That'll be gorgeous later on today. But let's do a nice little loop over our pedestrian bridges, just for the fun of it. Okay, so coming down here, kind of come down to the river. Yeah, I mean, it's not just here, it's cost of living everywhere, but the natural places. And then they're talking a lot in Europe. Now, I know that Barcelona has gotten rid of, or is ending Airbnb, and I'd like to see something done about that as well. And I guess Rome is talking about following suit. So, you know, some good conversations about how, but still we want to make these places accessible, but you want to make them still livable. Those are magpies making the noise. Look at the beautiful river this morning, everyone. Isn't that just perfect reflections? It's not too turquoisey at the moment. It's interesting. There's still a lot of snow melt and rain melt. So let me head up onto this little bridge here. Just got a young lady in a path here doing a dance. Morning, guys. It's it's always an interesting conversation. Oh, here we are. Oh dear. Look at these here's some nice young deer here, young males. There you go. Right? And they're just, now they are growing their antlers just like mad. Those actually, the velvet on them are capillaries. Now here's someone with his dog running along. Never a huge fan of that. But they are capillaries on their antlers. The magpies are having a party. Check this out. Here, I'm just gonna come and pull over for a minute. So just give me 1 second and then I can see. Sorry, obviously while I'm biking, I'm not able to read what everyone is saying. So there is, look at that reflection. How's that for a morning view? You see why I wanted to bring everyone out for a morning visit. It's gonna be like this the next few days. And I know I'm gonna be back in Takaka tomorrow, which I love. Those are the big waterfalls out in Yoho. But there's Mount Brewster in the distance there. The Brewster family were the first tour operators for Canadian Pacific. And then there's Stony Lookout. Isn't it just, you know, I had a great question. I had 4 younger people on my tour yesterday, and they were just very thoughtful, educated young people. Hi, Sandy. It is so pretty. And they were saying, you know, do you become too accustomed to it? I remember discussing this with my mom a few times over the years. There's a duck just zipping around up above us there. And, you know, when you get this sort of weather, honestly, I don't tire of it at all. And it is crisp and clear. Although, you know, I swim a lot right off this section in the summer. Although I'm not going to go swimming down in this part of the river yet until it's a little bit clearer, just because there are logs and things that float down in here. And so I just like to stay a bit clearer. There's the family of the geese too. The babies are getting bigger by the day. Hi, Melissa, nice to see you. Yeah, it is lovely. And so say summer came late, but we're glad. The mosquitoes are waking up now. We've really, like last year, we had virtually no mosquitoes. Now, because we're quite damp, we are getting the mosquitoes around. But hey, you know, it's still part of it now. Gentleman's moving a sign, but you've got all the art exhibits we have. So here, let me hop back on the bike, everyone. And I'm just gonna take you out and around, and we'll make our way over to the other pedestrian bridge. It's just so nice to come out for a morning drive. So yes, the art in nature is down through here, and we have a lot of public art. We've been doing this now for 3 years or 4 years, and it really is lovely. I'm coming over by the Buffalo Luxton Museum, and this is done in concert with the First Nations. Of course, we're Treaty 7 territory up here. There's really no wind on the flag, but the white flag in the distance is a Treaty 7 flag there. And this is interesting. You can see, if you go into this museum, you can see all the treaties. Do you know, I'm going to get permission sometime and do a presentation up in there. But I do want to, I'm going to go down under the bridge, and then we'll cut along to the other pedestrian bridge. But there's the Cascade of Time Gardens up at the Park Administration Building. That was a make-work project in the 1930s, and all the wildflowers are out now. Now, out at the Banff Centre, there's a lot of concerts going on. You might remember a couple of years ago, we had a group here that sang in the Welsh language, and they are coming back in later September, so I'm really looking forward to that. Just because I know the lady who runs the organization, and I've done a few virtual tours for them, and then Finn took them, but I'm going to have them for a full week in later September. By the way, if you're talking to your friends and family, we have 2 spots left for the Japan tour, and the opportunity to join, that's in October this year. The opportunity to join that ends on July 20th. Everything is again so busy there too. With the agent, we just set that as the line in the sand. So 2 spots left for that. So art and nature. Oh, I just have to take you down. I want to go over the bridge, but I just want to take you down here and show you Carter Ryan's. This has become one of the iconic ones down here. So the bear cage, there you go. That is a bear portaging a canoe. And then all the way along here, there's actually a remarkable amount of art from one tree that they had chopped down. And then here's a couple of little mule deer here. Isn't that just pretty special, the light coming through? Here's a permanent exhibit we have right here. So this one is lovely to see as well. So the river ribbon, it's just lovely. Good morning. And so you have some, it's just beautiful art down here. Now, if I kept going, I would end up at the Bow Falls. But if I take the camera down there, it always cuts out on the one bit of road. So I'm going to head back and take you over the pedestrian bridge. So I hope everyone is healthy and happy here at the moment. And I hope you're having nice weather wherever you are in the world. I understand it's been pretty rainy and everything over in the UK. And it certainly was cool when I was up there on this. Hey, morning. Nice fella. So we're looking down Muskrat Street. Look at that view of Cascade down towards the end there. So right here, the volume of water really picks up. And this leads down into the Bow Falls, of course. So we are at very, very high water. And those of you who have joined me regularly on these tours will know that it was about a month ago, and I could have walked out on rocks right down here. That's how quickly it comes up. And again, we had a lot of precipitation after a very poor winter for snow. And looking out to the Massif Range, you'll see that everyone is smiling and happy. You know, you wake up here and you feel good. Here is one of our rainbow flags. So we're having, June was both Indigenous History Month and Pride. The Pride Parade is in October, but that's always good fun in our really small but incredibly diverse community here. And I'm certainly proud of that. And I was saying, and I sort of interrupted myself, but the when I've had these tourists from mostly the States, but abroad, coming up here, and you know, there are always people who come here, of course, interested in the great outdoors, but they're really quite moved by just how diverse the crowds are here. And I tell the story so often. I mean, where I live, we're 27 houses. We have, I think, 6 languages spoken. You know, it's pretty neat to have that. Now, coming up to this house on the right has got a beautiful Inukchuk. There's the stone. That's what I think should be on the Canadian flag rather than the maple leaf. I don't really mean that, but there's no maple trees here. I'm not going to go into the cemetery because it's a dead end. But it is kind of a who's who of the history of Banff. And for such a small community, of course, there is so much history here. Now, it's interesting having my friend Charles here from Louisiana. They saw so much wildlife. Still seeing quite a bit, but you see a lot more wildlife in May when there's snowpack. That's what really changes. And that's why every time of year there's a different reason to come here. Now, you know, the screen's looking a little washed out there. If I were to touch it, it would probably refocus, but my other hand's hanging onto the bike. So I'm just going to take you up the hill, everyone. I want to take you up to Surprise Corner, where we look across at the mighty Banff Springs Hotel. And I'm really looking forward to bringing everyone out on a nice bike ride tour this time of year. So I'll go and put on my Lycra, my spandex, my bike shorts, and take my other bike out. I want to just try and get a good couple of hours. This rock on the left here, can you see people I know? This rock, in amongst there's some coral reef. And so we're talking about rock that's about 380 million years old. But I'm right above the Bow Falls just at the moment. Wildflowers coming out. You get a little glimpse of the falls. So they're not very steep, but they go on for about 3/4 of a kilometer. And their signs say, be careful. Now, I'm going to take you up to see, of course, the mighty Banff Springs. Oh, squirrel running across the street. Good, it gave up. So we're coming up to what we call Surprise Corner because of this sudden surprise view of the history of the founding of Canada as at least an independent entity. Have a look at this. There is the mighty Banff Springs Hotel. Sulphur Mountain up behind it. 850 rooms in that hotel. Surprise, exactly. Then here, I'll take you up just to have a little, there we are. Sorry, I'm just, you know, I've got a little lever on my bike where I can lower the seat. So there's the Bow Falls, and really, really high water right now. So, pretty powerful down there. And it comes down, and the little Spray River comes in and meets the Bow Falls. You have a really distinct color change. But there's the springs. It was built backwards, by the way. They put the entrance on the wrong side when they first built it. It really is moving, Robert, absolutely. And then Sulphur Mountain up top. I would not recommend taking the gondola on a day like today. It'll be so crowded up there. They time you up and they time you down. And it is, I don't know what it is, $85 or something now. I remember when it used to cost $18, same gondola. And it's not that businesses shouldn't be able to make money, but once again, a family of 4 going up there and it's costing you nearly $400, like that's not very accessible for a lot of people. Cool limestone here, by the way. And all of this limestone, you've got that formation of the lichen on it, and then the crypto-organic soil and all the flowers. People are often amazed how these flowers just seem to be growing straight out of the rock. Ray Roberts saying it was 82 in 2022. Yeah, I think they even have dynamic pricing now. The busier they are, they change the prices. I don't know. I think, sorry, I have to stop. Here we are. Alberta is known as wild rose country, and all the wild roses are out right now. It is just worth coming here for the wildflowers at the moment as well. Now, as we look down that valley in the distance, I am indeed prepared to stop. But down the valley in the distance, you're looking towards the Goat Range. So it is pretty spectacular. We're up near the Banff Centre. And the Banff Centre, in addition to all the wonderful concerts and lectures and all the things you can go to, is also our gym. Now, I paid for a year membership. It's really not that, I'm not using it too much these days because it's so nice to be outside, which isn't too surprising. But let's just keep going up, and I'll take you up into the Banff Centre. This hill up here is actually the steepest hill to ride up in Banff. It doesn't kind of look it, but it was over on the right-hand side. There might still be some closures, but all the baby elk are already getting bigger. But this is where the mummies give birth in May, and it all gets fenced off down through that area. So it's nice to come up here. So I'm just going to make my way down towards the Banff Centre, and then I can stop, and if there's any questions or anything, we could have a bit of a chat. So there's the Banff Centre for Arts and Creativity. Easily kind of call it a mountain university. And the Banff Centre Summer Arts Festival, they do, year round they have different events that are here. You'll also see there's OK written up there. There's all the different greetings in Indigenous languages, which when you drive into the national park now, they do have Indigenous writing as well at the park gates. So obviously as a federal institution, the Parks Canada can be one of the leaders in this long and somewhat painful process of reconciliation. But this whole centre, we're very lucky to have it. And the McNabb Labs, there's a sort of pub up here. The food's really good. They just don't have any small plates. But sometimes, I'll come for a workout and then go sit in there and watch if there's, the hockey's on. I must admit, yes, Melissa, absolutely hooray for, it's the role, the process of reconciliation, as you know, is a long one. And actually, just as a side comment to that, so I did go down, on our subscriber group, and I encourage people to join. It costs you about $2 a month or something, but we have a subscriber group, and I do private live streams just on that one. And I did one impromptu the other day on Canada Day because my friends and some people I actually know from the Blackfoot Siksika Nation were drumming, and I had not participated in Canada Day for a couple of years because of the history of the residential school system. But I thought when they came out to participate, then I was willing to participate as well. So yes, we have to this part of the world needs to be a real lead for it. And I have to absolutely 100% acknowledge that my family were settlers. So it's, and that I think is an important thing. So yeah, everyone. So here we are. By the way, I just wanted to show you. So this building in front, So this is obviously a yurt over here, but this building, if you see it from the air, is built like a pit house. So indigenous people would have lived absolutely teepee culture, absolutely, but also the pit houses, and they were down by the Bow Falls where they had built them at least for a few thousand years. You dig down about as deep as a basement today, and you get past the permafrost. In the winter, they had access to warm water. So that's how this was actually a pretty nice place to live, I think, in pre-contact days. Now, you wouldn't be vegetarian here. Now, the berries will come out soon, but they would have mixed the berries with the bison meat and the deer, and that was a really good way of keeping all your nutrients. And then when you talk about the salmon, of course, there's no salmon in the waters here. We're on the east slope. So they would have traveled towards where Lake Louise is and met with the Cooktaxa people from the other side of the Continental Divide, and they would have traded bison for salmon. Like, what a wonderful, healthy way to live. So that is interesting. So do let me know if you have any questions or anything. I guess we're at about 36 minutes here. So I'm going to let everyone go in just a couple of minutes, and I will pack the gimbal away. And literally, I'm going to go home and I'm going to change my shorts. Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks, Barbara. Yeah, it's good to be, the health. I'm outside all the time, and this is and I always say, I mean, this last group I had were from much warmer places, but you burn faster here, right? That's why I have the zinc on, because there's no pollution and there's no filter. So, it's so nice. Hi, it's so nice to see names that I haven't seen for a while. So, I hope that, Together Virtually can keep growing well. There were some big reasons why I didn't participate for quite a long time, and I'm happy to at least participate to some extent. But if you have the energy to sign up for our subscriber group, that's really fun too. Just kind of and I was just, very honestly, there were so many fake accounts and profiles and everything coming in that it was nice. You're welcome, Colleen. That's why I set up a subscriber group, and just to have something just where you can control that a little bit more. My To Me Travel Facebook is like at 50,000 followers, or I think so. Rosie, tell you what, I will put up a link on the To Me Travel Facebook again. I put one up every now and then, and it's very easy to subscribe. And say it does cost like a couple of pounds a month or something, but it just means that we can see who's joining, and those many fake profiles that come up, the ones that spam, not the really malicious ones, just the fake ones. They obviously wouldn't have cards on file, so it sort of filters those out. So I'll put that out. Give me a little while, but I'll put it on my To Me Travel one. So anyway, everyone, peace and love to all of you, and it's so nice to connect again. And if you can invite some other friends to the subscriber group, it's just fun to have a place. I put up a video from the other morning, just at the perfect calm. So, hey, take care, and thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your support when you can donate and everything. That's just wonderful. So it's so nice to connect with everyone. Nice to see you again, all my friends. All right, so from beautiful, beautiful Banff, I know there's some other good tours on, later today. Isn't it a nice way to start the day? And I've already been up for hours because I'm just such a morning person. Big hugs to you, Karen, and all my friends everywhere. So we will see you all very soon. Merci beaucoup. À très bientôt. Thank you, Hannah. Hi. Thank you very much. And we will all catch up, hopefully. Yeah, I've got some private tours, have some guests coming to stay, but I'm home, so I can take you around to lots of places. And I do put lots of little videos up on the YouTube as well, particularly places where you don't get any reception. So there's Sleeping Buffalo Mountain. All right, everyone. Big hugs, lots of love. Take care.